Welcome back to the Kneady Homesteader channel, you guys, and the Canning Revolution workshop, where our goal with this workshop is to work through any fears, any apprehension, any questions that you might have as a new canner learning this life skill that you might have. And at the end of this month that you're going to gain enough confidence and enough knowledge in order to start your canning journey. That's the goal, especially in today's day and age where things are happening around us in our world very rapidly. I think that this is the year of the home food preservationist. And if you've ever been on the fence about wanting to learn some of these life skills like home canning, now is your go time. So with this workshop, we are going to help you work through those fears, those anxieties, and we're gonna get you canning, okay? That's the goal. So up above, I'm gonna leave a link to the playlist so you can go back and watch all of the videos. In today's video, we're keeping these videos short and sweet and to the point so that they're not overwhelming, because the last thing I want to do to new canners is overwhelm them with too much knowledge, too much information in one video. So today we're going to talk about tools. I'm just going to show you what I use because of course that's all I own, but there are many other options out there. Down below in the description box, I will leave you as many links as I possibly can to help you along in finding the tools that you're going to need. But don't get nervous. We're going to walk through this very easily and slowly. And if you have the nervous Nellies, let them go. We're going to talk about two canning tools. And with that, I'm going to spin you around and I'm going to show you what I own. Okay, in yesterday's video, we talked all about our canners and some of the different water bath canners that are out there. I showed you my specific pressure canner that I use, even though there are a few different kinds out there on the market. The next thing that you're going to want to purchase, of course, are canning jars. Now, we did experience a canning jar shortage this year, well, last year, 2020, with the canning burst that we had with so many people gardening and canning what they gardened. It was fantastic. Do I wish they had had more product? Yes. But in the grand scheme of things, you guys, the fact that so many people wanted to learn how to can last year, that's what it's about. If there's going to be a revolution, let it be a canning revolution, and let's get back to the old ways, right? So canning jars might still be a bit difficult to find. However, they are coming out already in the stores. I know there were rumors out there that stores wouldn't have them until the spring. I did make a video on this. I'll leave it linked up above. That Ball did hear our call for more jars, more lids, more rings, more everything. And so they have been working diligently on the canning jar aspect, trying to work as quickly as they can to get product out. Many of you in that video left comments down below as you were seeing canning jars coming back into your stores and leaving posts on your location, which is so helpful to everybody else out there. And I really appreciate you guys for doing that. So be on the lookout. I believe Walmart and Kroger were some of the two bigger retailers that Ball was going to restock first. So keep your eye there first. But always be on the lookout for Facebook Marketplace. You know, I bought like 650 jars, 600 jars, something around there, from a friend of mine who found somebody who had a barn sale, and he had held on to these canning jars for 2 weeks. Nobody wanted them. So be on the lookout. Ask your friends, ask your neighbors. You never know who they might know who might have canning jars that they aren't using. So there are many options out there when it comes to canning jars. But you're going to want at least a few jars to get started. Okay, so several tools that you're going to find very handy when it comes to canning. The first thing we're gonna look at are the jar lifters, okay? So this is a basic pair of jar lifters, and this is going to lift your jar up out of the water. I figured I would demonstrate these really quickly. For those of you who have never used jar lifters, you can see how they are contoured. They are made specifically for canning jars. So when you are putting your jars in and out of the water, it's going to grip right underneath the first rim there, and you will be able to lift these up and out of the water, okay? These are a very important tool. You're not gonna wanna can without them. You might find it almost impossible to can without them. These are manual ones that, that you use just, with your own fingers. Now, again, if you have arthritis or carpal tunnel like I do, you might not find these very easy to use. So they do make spring-loaded jar lifters. This is mine, and again, it has the molding at the bottom, but if you notice, it is spring-loaded, so it clicks right back. This just makes it much easier to lift the jar up and out. Very little effort when it comes to your hands. I do believe that Ball does make one. I think it's pretty expensive though. I think the last time I looked it was around $50. These aren't nearly as expensive, but I will leave links to any spring-loaded jar lifters that I can find for you guys, because I know a lot of the stuff is a little bit trickier to find than it was, say, this time last year. So you want a pair of jar lifters whichever way you want to go. The second thing that you want are lid lifters, and this is going to work just like the jar lifters, except these are going to be for your lids and your rings when you're bringing them out of the water, that you have them sitting in the warm water that you're going to have them sitting in. So this is a basic one. Okay, this is just a Ball one, and they come in lots of different colors. They do come in black too. I've seen them in black, but this is just your basic lifter, and it has a magnet, and this is what's going to lift your lids, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. So there's a lid there, and there you have it. So as you have these soaking in hot water, which is what I do when I can, you don't have to get your fingers in there or burn your fingers. You also are not going to be touching anything that is nice and clean, so no debris, no oils from your fingers can get on the lid, which is really important for a nice, good seal. So those are the Ball ones. Progressive also makes one, and I think this is from Farberware now. I think Farberware bought out Progressive, but this is going to work the same way. Okay, so it has a magnet at the bottom. And then my favorite one is this one. And now I think this one's pretty expensive. I picked this up when they were $1 a piece. I want to say they're like $8 now. But I love this because it has a very tapered edge to it. And I like to use this also as a debubbler. It's a great jar lifter, debubbler, kind of all in one tool. And the magnet on this is stellar. I mean, you could probably pull something from halfway across the room. I mean, it is just, you don't even have to get close to it. And it lifts it. So I have a couple of these actually in my possession because I absolutely love them. I also use them as a stirrer for my sourdough because it stirs really well. It's really thick, really durable. I love those lid lifters. I will leave a link to them down below. I think they're still pretty expensive though. But hey, keep an eye on them. Wait for the price to drop. That's what I do, and then snag them up. Okay, and then from there, you are going to want some kind of scoop. Now, can you use a regular kitchen ladle? Absolutely, and for many years this is what I used. But I will tell you the canning scoop specifically, and again, this is by, it was Progressive, I think it's Farberware now. This holds a half pint perfectly in this scoop. So it makes canning jelly really easy. I absolutely love these ladles. and I had to check really quick, it is still progressive. So I don't think they sell the purple anymore. I think they switched over to the red color. I bought them when they're purple. I know a lot of people like my purple set, but I think the set now is red. I don't know, maybe they'll go back to purple one day, but this one has Gorilla Glue on it. It's broken a couple of times on me, but I still love it, and it's a fantastic tool. You'll see that it also has a hook. So this hooks right on the side of your pot, just making canning a breeze. You know, in my experience, you guys, having the proper tools for any kind of job makes the job easier, but specifically for canning, it will make your experience so much more enjoyable if you have the proper tools, okay? So the next thing that you're gonna need are funnels. Now, these are very inexpensive funnels. Back when I bought mine, they were $1 a piece. I don't know what they are now, but I will leave links to them down below for you. Just a simple plastic canning funnel, okay? Pretty much the same thing, just different colors. This one is the one by Progressive. This is going to be a step above. And if you can see that, it actually has headspace measurements on the side for your 3/4 inch, your 1/2 inch, your 1/4 inch headspace. So for new beginner canners, this might be very helpful to you when you're learning your headspace amounts. So I will leave a link to this down below for you. And then what I now use are stainless steel funnels. I have one regular mouth and one wide mouth, but to be honest with you, I never use the regular mouth. I use the wide mouth for everything. It fits into a 1/2 pint jar beautifully, and it allows for any kind of spillage. It just keeps everything super neat and clean. And I am, if nothing else, I try to be a super clean canner. And so limiting my messiness is important to me. So this came as a 2-piece set. I will leave a link to this set down below. And then I will also just leave a link maybe just to the wide mouth funnel if maybe you're just interested in the wide mouth. The stainless steel just washes up beautifully. I really enjoy the stainless steel. So, but it doesn't matter, whatever funnel you end up falling in love with, you know, those are some of the options out there for you and the ones that I have personally tried and used. All right, so the next tool that you're gonna need is what Mouse Toes lovingly calls a Pokey Joe. You're gonna need a debubbler of some kind, okay? And this is going to debubble and get all those air pockets out of your canning. If you get a ball debubbler like this, it has measurements on it, okay? So I know that's gonna be really hard for you guys to see. Maybe we can kind of pick it up there. But for anybody learning headspace, you've got the 1-inch headspace, you've got 3/4, a 1/2, 1/4 headspace right on here for you. So all you do with this, okay, is say you're looking for a 1/4 inch headspace, you're going to go to the 1/4 inch right here. And you're gonna put it right on the side of your jar just like that. And you want the base of this debubbler to be at the top of your food product, whether it be jam. If we're doing a 1/4 inch, we're probably doing jam or jelly. There's a 1-inch headspace, so if you're doing anything pressure canning, this is where the headspace that you're going to be using for that. So very useful tool for beginners. You'll see that mine is marked with a black magic marker, and that is my indication that I use for filling up my pressure canner. So my pressure canner takes 3 inches of water, and so that is the 3-inch mark that I have. And so when I'm filling up my canner, I just lay my tool down at the bottom and I fill it up until I get to that black line. That's just kind of an insider trick that I use. I'll remind you of that again when we get to our mock pressure canning canning session that we have coming up. So those are my tools. Now, there are some additional tools that you probably want to pick up. This is a jar opener. don't even know if they still sell this. If I can find this, I will link it down below. But this helps you loosen the bands after you have canned. This is great for anybody with carpal tunnel or arthritis in their hands like I have. Just a great backup tool. I rarely use it, but sometimes when I need it, I like to have it. Also, cheesecloth. This is one thing that you're going to want to pick up because you're going to find that you're going to need to use this if you're making any kind of stocks. Sometimes when you're making jelly, it's just always good to have on hand because when you need it, you want to be able to have it. So I buy this one off of Amazon. This is the highest quality cheesecloth so far that I have ever used. I love it. It is super fine and it gets everything out. I'm telling you, I have the most beautiful stock thanks to this cheesecloth. So I will put a link to that down below. Now, you're gonna need a place to store all of this. I just have a basket that I use and I keep in my pantry that I just put all of my tools in. I have Vaseline. You're gonna need some kind of lubricant if you're gonna use an all-American pressure canner. I use Vaseline. I've tried oils, all sorts of other things. I find that plain Vaseline works the best when it comes to that. And so you're just going to tuck everything in to your basket. There we go. So have a basket, have a tote, have something where you can keep everything together and it's easy for you to find. And after you're done cleaning up from a canning session, you know where everything goes. And so you're never losing anything. Nothing is in your kitchen drawer or, you know. The one thing I can't stand is when all of my things get misplaced. I like it very easy to find. That way, if I want to do a canning session like last minute, it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night and hey, I want to do a canning session, which I do often. I know where everything is. I can pull everything out. Everything is ready to go. We are going to now you're going to store everything clean, but we're going to wash everything before a canning process just to make sure that everything is super clean. Nothing has a little bit of dust on it, or in my case, it's in my pantry. Sometimes gets a little flour dust on it because I'm always in my flour buckets. So you just want a place where you can store everything and it's easy to find. Okay, you guys, I hope that was helpful to you, just seeing what I use. Again, links will be down below to help you guys out. I am keeping a running paper of any questions or things that you guys want to see. So leave them down below if you have any questions regarding tools, and I will do my very best to answer those questions for you. But we're going to keep on rolling here, and I will be seeing you in the next day or so for our next canning workshop video. I'm super excited and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here. We're going to get you canning, I promise.